Jacob lived in the land of his father's travels in the land of Canaan. This is the history of the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. Joseph brought an evil report of them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a tunic of many colors. His brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, and they hated him and couldn't speak peaceably to him. Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Please hear this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheep arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves came around and bowed down to my sheaf." His brothers asked him, "Will you indeed reign over us? Will you indeed have dominion over us?" They hated him all the more for his dreams and for his word. He dreamed yet another dream and told it to his brothers, and said, "Behold, I have dreamed yet another dream. And behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars bow down to me." He told it to his father and to his brothers. His father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Will I and your mother and your brothers indeed come to bow ourselves down to the earth before you?" His brothers envied him, but his father kept this saying in mind. His brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. Israel said to Joseph, "Aren't your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send you to them." He said to him, "Here I am." He said to him, "Go now, see whether it is well with your brothers and well with the flock, and bring me word again." So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. A certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. The man asked him, "What are you looking for?" He said, "I am looking for my brothers. Tell me, please, where they are feeding the flock." The man said, "They have left here, for I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dothan.'" Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. "Behold, this dreamer comes. Will you indeed reign over us?" They hated him for his dreams and for his word. "Behold, this dreamer comes." They saw him afar off, and before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him. They said to one another, "Behold, this dreamer comes. Come now, therefore, and let's kill him, and cast him into one of the pits, and we will say, 'An evil animal has devoured him.' We will see what will become of his dreams." Reuben heard it and delivered him out of their hand and said, "Let's not take his life." Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit that is in the wilderness, but lay no hand on him, that he might deliver him out of their hand to restore him to his father." When Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him, and they took him and threw him into the pit. The pit was empty, there was no water in it. They sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead, with their camels bearing spices and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is it if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, and let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not let our hand be on him. For he is our brother, our flesh." His brothers listened to him. Midianites who were merchants passed by, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. Oh, the merchants brought Joseph into Egypt. Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph wasn't in the pit, and he tore his clothes. He returned to his brothers and said, "The child is no more, and where will I go?" They took Joseph's tunic and killed the male goat and dipped the tunic in the blood. They took the tunic of many colors and they brought it to their father, and said, "We have found this. Examine it now and see if it is your son's tunic or not." He recognized it and said, "It is my son's tunic. An evil animal has devoured him." Joseph is without doubt torn in pieces. Jacob tore his clothes and put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. He said, "For I will go down to Shelah to my son, mourning." His father wept for him. The Midianites sold him into Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, the captain of the guard. Behold, this dreamer comes. Will you indeed reign over us? They hated him for his dreams and for his word. Behold, this dreamer comes. We will see what will become of his dreams. Behold, this dreamer comes. She is more righteous than I, because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. She's more righteous than I. She is more righteous than I.
At that time, Judah went down from his brothers and visited a certain Adulamite whose name was Hira. There, Judah saw the daughter of a certain Canaanite man named Shua.
He took her and went into her. She conceived and bore a son, and he named him She conceived again and bore a son, and she named him Onan.
She yet again bore a son and named him Shelah. He was at Shechem when she bore him. Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar.
Judah's firstborn was wicked in Yahweh's sight, so Yahweh killed him.
Judah said to Onan, "Go into your brother's wife and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her, and raise up offspring
For your brother."
Onan knew that the offspring wouldn't be his.
And when he went into his brother's wife, he spilled his semen on the ground, lest he should give offspring to his brother. The thing which he did was evil in Yahweh's sight,
and he killed him all. So then Judah said to Tamar, his daughter-in-law,
"Remain a widow in your father's house
until Shelah, my son, is grown up."
For he said, lest he also die like his brothers. Tamar went and lived in her father's house. She is more righteous than I, because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. She is more righteous than I. She is more righteous than I.
After many days, Shua's daughter, the wife of Judah, died. Judah was comforted and went up to a sheep shearers to Timnah, he and his friend Hira, the Adulamite.
Tamar was told, "Behold, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep."
She took off the garments of her widowhood and covered herself with the veil, and wrapped herself and sat in the gate of Enaim, which is on the way to Timnah.
For she saw that Shelah was grown up, and she wasn't given to him as a wife.
When Judah saw her, he thought that she was a prostitute, for she had covered her face. He turned to her by the way and said,
"Please come, let me come into you." For he didn't know that she was his daughter-in-law.
She said, "What
will you give me that you may come into me?" He said, "I will send you a young goat from the flock." She said, "Will you give me a pledge until you send it?" He said, "What pledge will I give you?"
She said,
"Your signet and your cord and your staff that is in your hand."
He gave them to her,
and came into her,
and she conceived by him.
She arose and went away, and put off her veil from her,
and put on the garments of her widowhood.
Judah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive the pledge from the woman's hand.
But he didn't find her.
Then he asked the men of her place, saying,
"Where is the prostitute that was at Enaim by the road?"
They said, "There has been no prostitute here."
He returned to Judah and said,
"I haven't found her."
And also the man of the place said,
"There has been no prostitute here."
Judah said,
"Let her keep it, lest we be shamed.
Behold,
I sent this young goat, and you haven't found her."
About 3 months later, Judah was told,
"Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has plagued the prostitute.
Moreover, behold, she is with child by prostitution." Judah said,
Bring her out,
and let her be burned.
When she was brought out, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, "I am with child by the man who owns thee."
She also said,
"Please discern whose these are,
the signet
and the cords, and the staff."
Judah acknowledged them and said,
"She is more righteous than I, because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. He knew her again no more."
In the time of her travail, behold, twins were in her womb. When she travailed, one put out a hand, and a big wife took
and tied a scarlet thread on his hand,
saying, "This came out first." As he drew back his hand,
behold, his brother brother came out,
and she said,
"Why have you made a breach for yourself?"
Therefore his name was called Perez.
Afterward his brother came out, who had the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah. He is more righteous than I, because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. She is more righteous than I. She is more righteous than I. She is more righteous than I, because I didn't give her to Shelah, my son. She is more righteous than I. 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 Yahweh was with Joseph and showed kindness to him. Yahweh made all that he did prosper in his hand. Yahweh was with Joseph. Joseph was brought down to Egypt. Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, the captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him from the hand of the Ishmaelites that had brought him down there. Yahweh was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man. He was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. His master saw that Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh made all that he did prosper in his hand. Joseph found favor in his sight. He ministered to him, and Potiphar made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. Yahweh blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. Yahweh's blessing was on all that he had in the house, and in the field he left all that he had in Joseph's hand. He didn't concern himself with anything except for the food which he ate. Joseph was well built and handsome. After these things, his master's wife set her eyes on Joseph, and she said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Behold, my master doesn't know what is with me in the house, and he has put all that he has into my hand. No one is greater in this house than I am, and he has not kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?" As she spoke to Joseph day by day, he didn't listen to her. To lie by her, to be with her. About this time he went into the house to do his work, and there were none of the men of the house inside. She caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." He left his garment in her hand and ran outside. Yahweh was with Joseph and showed kindness to him. Yahweh made all that he did prosper in his hand. Yahweh was with Joseph. When she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and had run outside, she called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, "Behold, he's brought a Hebrew into us to mock us. He came into me to lie with me." And I cried with a loud voice when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried. He left his garment by me and ran outside. She laid up his garment by her until his master came home. She spoke to him according to these words, saying, "The Hebrew servant whom you have brought to us came into me to mock me. And as I lifted up my voice and cried, he left his garment by me and ran outside." When his master heard the words of his wife, his wrath was kindled. Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, the place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in custody. But Yahweh was with Joseph and showed kindness to him, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. The keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever they did there, he was responsible for it. The keeper of the prison didn't look after anything that and that which he did, Yahweh made it prosper. Yahweh was with Joseph and showed kindness to him. Yahweh made all that he did prosper in his hand. Yahweh was with Joseph and showed kindness to him. Yahweh made all that he did prosper in his hand. Yahweh was with Joseph. Yahweh was with Joseph and showed kindness to him. Yahweh made all that he did prosper in his hand. Yahweh was with Joseph. Yahweh was with Joseph, and that which he did, Yahweh made it prosper. After these things, the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker offended their lord, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. He put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard and to the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he took care of them. They stayed in prison many days. They both dreamed a dream, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream. The cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were bound in the prison. Joseph came into them in the morning and saw them, and saw that they were sad. He asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in custody in his master's house, saying, "Why do you look so sad today?" They said to him, "We have dreamed a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it." Joseph said to them, "Don't interpretations belong to God? Please tell it to me. Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head." Don't interpretations belong to God? The chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph and said to him, "In my dream, behold, a vine was in front of me, and in the vine were 3 branches. It was as though it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters produced ripe grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand." Joseph said to him, "This is its interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your office. You will give Pharaoh's cup into his hand, the way you did when you were his cupbearer. But remember me when it is well with you. Please show kindness to me, and make mention of me to Pharaoh, and bring me out of his house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing, that they should put me into the dungeon." When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said to Joseph, "I also was in my dream, and behold, 3 baskets of white bread were on my head. In the uppermost basket there were all kinds of baked food for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head." Joseph answered, "This is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head from off you, and will hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat your flesh from off you." Don't interpretations belong to God? Please tell it to me. Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head. Don't interpretations belong to God? On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer didn't remember Joseph, but forgot him.
Don't interpretations belong to God?
Please tell it to me.
Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head.
Don't interpretations belong to God?
Interpretations belong to God.
Please tell it to me.
Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head.
Don't interpretations belong to God?
Interpretations belong to God.
Please tell it to me.
Within 3 more days, Pharaoh will lift up your head.
Don't interpretations belong to God?
Don't interpretations belong to God.
Please tell it to me. The chief cupbearer didn't remember Joseph,
but forgot him. Don't interpretations belong to God?
Don't interpretations belong to God.
But forgot him.
God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. The dream of Pharaoh is one. What God is about to do, He has declared to Pharaoh. God will shortly bring it to pass. At the end of 2 full years, Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. Behold, 7 cattle came up out of the river. They were sleek and fat, and they fed in the marsh grass. Behold, 7 other cattle came up after them out of the river, ugly and thin, and stood by the other cattle on the brink of the river. The ugly and thin cattle ate up the 7 sleek and fat cattle. So Pharaoh awoke. He slept and dreamed a second time, and behold, 7 heads of grain came up on one stalk, healthy and good. Behold, 7 heads of grain, thin and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. The thin heads of grain swallowed up the 7 healthy and full ears. Pharaoh woke, and behold, it was a dream. In the morning, his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all of Egypt's magicians and wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them to Pharaoh. Then the chief cupbearer spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my faults today. Pharaoh was angry with the servants and put me in custody in the house of the captain of the guard with the chief baker. We dreamed a dream in one night, he and I. Each man dreamed according to the interpretation of his dream. There was with us there a young man, a Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. He interpreted to each man according to his dream. As he interpreted to us, so it was. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. He shaved himself, changed his clothing, and came into Pharaoh. Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. I have heard it said of you, that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It isn't in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. The dream of Pharaoh is one. What God is about to do, He has declared to Pharaoh. God will shortly bring it to pass. Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. What God is about to do, He has declared to Pharaoh. The 7
good cattle, 7 years, and the 7 good heads of grain are 7 years. The dream is one. The 7 thin and ugly cattle that came up after them are 7 years, and also the 7 empty heads of grain blasted with the east wind. They will be 7 years of famine. That is the thing which I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. Behold, 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt are coming. 7 years of famine will arise after them, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt. The famine will consume the land, and the plenty will not be known in the land by reason of that famine which follows, for it will be very grievous. The dream was doubled to Pharaoh, because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look for a discreet and wise man, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint overseers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt's produce. In the 7 plenteous years, let them gather all the food of these good years that come, and store grain under the hand of Pharaoh for food in the cities, and let them keep it. The food will be to supply the land against the 7 years of famine, which will be in the land of Egypt, so that the land will not perish through the established by God. God will shortly bring it to pass. The thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. Pharaoh said to his servants, "Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom is the Spirit of God?"
Pharaoh said to Joseph,
"Because God has shown you all of this, there is no one so discreet and wise as you. You shall be over my house. All my people will be ruled according to your word. Only in the throne I will be greater than you." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Behold, I have set you over all the land of Egypt."
Pharaoh took off his signet ring from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in robes of fine linen and put a gold chain about his neck. He made him ride in the second chariot which he had. They cried before him, "Bow the knee." He set him over all the land of Egypt.
Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I am Pharaoh. Without you no man shall lift up his hand or his foot in all the land of Egypt."
Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphenath-Paneah. He gave him Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, a priest of On, as a wife.
Joseph went out over the land of Egypt. Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom is the Spirit of God?
Behold, I have set you over
all the land of Egypt. God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt.
In the 7 plenteous years the earth produced abundantly. He gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. He stored food in each city from the fields around that city.
God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction.
The 7 years of plenty that were in the land of Egypt came to an end.
The 7 years of famine began to come.
Just as Joseph had said, there was famine in all lands.
But in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
When all the land of Egypt was famished,
The people cried to Pharaoh for bread, and Pharaoh said
to all the Egyptians,
go to Joseph.
what he says to you do.
The famine was over all the surface of the earth. Joseph opened all the storehouses
And sold to the Egyptians.
The famine was severe in the land of Egypt.
All countries came into Egypt to
Joseph to buy grain.
cause the famine was severe in all the earth.
can we find such a one as this? A man in whom is the Spirit of God.
Behold, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Can we find such a one as this? A man in whom is the Spirit of God.
Behold, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Can we find such a one as this? A man in whom is the Spirit of God.
Behold, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction.
Can we find such a one as this? A man in whom is the Spirit of God.
Behold, I have set you over all the land of Egypt. God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. All countries came into Egypt to Joseph to buy grain.
God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction.